Right, I've gone live a few seconds early because Mark didn't like waiting. Just square up the camera a little bit, might wobble you around there a little bit. Right, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Well, you may be able to tell once again, I'm all yeah, I haven't been very well actually. I've wasn't too sure if I'd even be able to do this tonight. I've been coughing and spluttering all over the place. I've had a touch of the flu. Well, I've actually had more than a touch of the flu. I've actually been quite unwell for about a week. But hey, one must do what one must do, and one must do is a BeerStream. First beer in over a week, so I might get a little bit tipsy if we're not careful. But shall we get straight on with it? A quick sip of water. Right. And we got Dave in here, and we've got Dave, and we've got Mark at the moment. Absolutely brilliant. Who else we got? We've got 7 people around somewhere. Absolutely fantastic. Hello, Willie. Right, I'm going to do them in the order I showed them, and we're going to start off with Tinsel Toes. I've never had any of these beers before, so they're all new to me. And we'll read what it says on the label first of all, and it just says it's a Christmas ale. This festive brew, God of the talk. This festive brew is full of rich and spicy fruit flavors, paired with a Christmas treat tonight. There's definitely a dark winter night out there tonight. So, although we're past Christmas, it's still winter time, isn't it? So, without no ado, we'll wrong end. We'll open that up. Like so. I'm going to go with the small glasses again, because I'm going to do what I did last time. We'll have a little sample of all of them, and then go back and recap. And if not too tipsy by the time we get through 3, we might do 4. Another ruby porter. This is a rich ruby porter. I'm not too sure on ruby porters if I've ever had any. But Postman's Knock, and I thought, well, it's a good old parlour game, isn't it? Postman's Knock. It goes with the Christmas affair quite nicely. Let's grab a glass and let's do some pouring. I don't know if anyone managed to get any of these beers to go along with me. It's quite powerful for a ruby shining down on it, so it might be actually not as pale as it looks. It looks darker on the computer than it does in the glass to me. So who we got in here anyway? Let's say hello to everybody first, shall we? Well, we've got Mark. This actually, I must say straight away, this choice of beer comes from Mark. Mark has supplied the beers we're drinking tonight. That's the Schwartz in the chat there. So yeah, so a big thank you goes to him. And then we got Willie, and we've got Dave, Kingfisher. What's your name, Kingfisher? So we got just get up, open trip. If I start coughing and spluttering everywhere, I apologise. Anyway, let's go for this, shall we? I can smell it this week. Yeah, definitely one of those rich ruby ale smells. There's not a huge smell of spice, and I thought there might be. The way it was sold there as a Christmas ale, I thought it might be quite spicy, but well, it's not on the nose anyway. Hmm. It's absolutely nothing like what I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be sort of I don't know, sort of Christmas puddingy sort of flavors, or if you're over in the US, perhaps some pumpkin pie spice or something like that flavors. Nothing like that at all. The spices are very, very subtle in it, not taking anything away from the beer whatsoever. It's got a good feel. I actually started off with this beer, and I'll be quite honest with you, I thought I wasn't going to like it. But I was going to, all the same, I'm still, you know me, I hold my hands up and I'll tell everybody, I tell you as it is. And I thought, oh dear, I'm probably not going to like that beer, but I changed my mind. If I sat down Christmas morning with a pint of beer or a glass of beer, chatting to family and friends and that sort of thing, that would go down a treat. Absolute treats. Now, Mark's been absolutely great again. He's emailed me the list of what they all the breweries say about their beers. So let's see what they've got to say about this one, shall we? I'm gonna have to. Right, this is from Woodfordes Tinsel Toes. Bananas over here. Oh gee whiz, golden raisins or raisins. A bit that rich sort of raisiny sort of flavour. It's sort of quite sort of a bit of sweetness, but it's got a lot of richness to it. It's that sort of flavour coming through, but it's not particularly that sweet, which surprised me actually. Paired with a blend of roasted malts and hops to create a perfectly balanced Christmas treat at 4.4 ABV. Well, that's got that is very drinkable. I'm pleasantly surprised. Very pleasantly surprised. As I say, never ever judge a beer until you try it. Can't do it, can you? Can't do it. The only ones I always seem to struggle with, and it's all the golden ales. Most of them seem to contain wheat, and I struggle with them for some reason. But that is very, very good. You're going to make me cough, Dave. But keep the jokes coming. Do you know it's absolutely great having you in the chat room, Dave? You just the jokes you keep coming out with, it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat loves them too. So keep them coming. We enjoy them. Time you held your hands up, Trevor, and crashed the narrowboat. I to the bank, into a bank, perhaps. Hi, Trev. Will you be doing any more quizzes, just like the ones you did in COVID? Well, the reason I did them in COVID was because, well, basically, I was bored, couldn't go anywhere, and I did them in COVID. I enjoyed doing them, but they got a very poor response. Very, very few people entered them, but I did enjoy doing them. Perhaps, perhaps I would do one in a one-off or something like that. Do a summer quiz or something like that. Um, Perhaps towards the end of the summer, and I will try and put in there where I've been throughout the summer. And I can't tell you where that's going to be yet, because I haven't made up my mind yet. So who knows? I don't like planning. But Tinsel Toes, I will definitely get that again. So the next one, let's see what we've got next on our agenda. It is Santa's Porter. I normally like all porters, so this shouldn't be a problem for me at all. And smooth, rich porter. The only thing I would say about this, whoever came up with the labelling designs on this, the gold on the red doesn't work. You've got a job to read it. It's not telling you what it is properly. But that's nothing to do with what's inside. That's obviously something to do with their marketing department or whatever. They could have done a better job of the labelling, I think. Let's get the old magic opener. Another glass. Let's see how this pours. Well, that's the dark, isn't it? Look at that porter colour. A bit of head. Nice colour. I like that. Head's holding there quite well. I like that. Before we try this, go back to here. Last quiz, I went to the questions were about birds of prey. Right, folks, ready? Fingers on the buzzards. Love it, Dave, love it. Excuse me, peeps. Did you know Santa bought 1,000 plastic legs? He thought that they would make great stocking fillers. They probably would. Right. My verdict on Santa's Porter. Oh, there's a lot on the nose there. And smell the roasted barley on that. On the definitely sort of almost a toast sort of smell. You know, if you not actually burn toast, but where it's getting quite dark and it's that sort of smell. That's good. That is definitely a roasted sort of nutty sort of flavour smell. And that comes straight through. The malts and that are quite incredible. That's a hit all the way. That is a big hit. I always like porters, as you always know. I'm a big porter drinker. But that hits the nose. Lots and lots of flavour. Now, none of these beers have been in the fridge. I know my American friends would think that's sacrilege, but they've been sat on the floor in the back cabin. So they're basically sort of cellar temperature. So they're chilled, but if I put them in the fridge, they just get too cold. I have to take them out too long in advance to try and bring them up to a little bit of room temperature just to give them a bit of flavour. The flavours in that are absolutely spot on. Once again, what does it say on here? Let's have a look. Because I'm quite interested to see what they have to say. I haven't actually read this yet. I haven't read this. I printed it off. I put it down beside my computer, and I haven't read it on purpose. I want to read it at the same time. I'm pretty sure Mark's already read it, so he probably knows more about it than I do. Milestone's Santa Porter. There's a porter from Nottinghamshire Brewery, Milestones, founded in 2004 by husband and wife team Ken and Fran in the village of Cromwell. Don't think I know the village of Cromwell, but there we go. Milestone Brewery has won numerous awards for their range of traditional English ales. Santa's Porter was created as a seasonal ale for winter and is described as smooth, creamy porter, pours a dark coffee colour, and offers up roasted aromas and dark fruits from the thick, creamy head. The first sip is smooth and creamy with pleasant roasted malt flavours and a little fruity sweetness. Well, I think that is absolutely spot on. It's basically exactly what I said. The creaminess is perhaps I didn't pour it with enough head. A little bit of creaminess there, but the roasted malts is it comes straight through, and they're really good as well. I mean, really good roasted malts. And once again, when they're saying that fruitiness, it's like that Christmas puddingy sort of fruitiness. Rich dried fruits sort of thing. Yeah, that is good. That is very good. Mm. It hasn't said that I've got problems with streaming, but last night I was I had the internet on, and around this time last night, so I was having problems with the internet. So I hope it holds up tonight. I haven't moved. I haven't moved the boat now in 10 days because, as I say, I haven't been very good. But that Santa's Porter, once again, thumbs up. I would definitely buy that if I saw it in the shop, and definitely would drink it again. Let's get back to the chat here quickly. Hi, Jordan. Still a bit rough, Jordan, but thank you for asking. What's your favourite beer so far, Trev? What, out of the two? I don't know where you get more from, Dave. Raising awareness, eh? Out of those two, probably the Porter Edges, only because I'm a big Porter fan. From a Ruby Ale point of view, that's probably one of the best Ruby Ales I've had in a long, long time. The Tinsel Toes. It's got a lot of flavour. Um, a lot of Ruby Ales around these days, and a lot of them are nothing special. Where that one goes a little bit more. It's got rather than your mainstream beers. When I say mainstream beers, they're not really mainstream these days, are they? Excuse me, people. Sorry about this. But, I'm just trying to think. It's a lot of the things like a lot of famous. Oh, gee whiz. I didn't even be in the shop buying beer. Look, I can't even remember them. Hobgoblin Ruby Ale is quite a popular one. Hobgoblin's got not a patch on that Tinsel Toast, not a patch. Right, this one I've been looking forward to trying, I must admit. Sorry, guys, I've got itchy nose. Everything's going wrong. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you very much for the super chat there, Andrew. I really appreciate that. And up next is our beer Humbug. This is a mild, and you don't get a lot of milds around these days. And growing up, I used to love a good pint of mild, and I still do. And if I see a mild around, I will still go and buy them. when I see them. In the shops these days, you basically only see Banks as mild, which is okay. Did have a mild in the pub with my friend Steve the other day. That's Narrowboat Precious Jet. I don't know if Steve's around tonight. I haven't seen him yet. And we were in the Greyhound, and they had a couple of miles on. They had to fix the miles on the gas, on the regular force pressure, what we call it. So what with it? But they had on cask. They had a mild, which I actually tried. Wasn't the name I knew. It was okay, but I didn't think it really. And the other thing was, miles are low alcohol normally. They're one of the lower alcohols, and this one in there was 3.8%. They wanted £4.90 a pint for it. So I went for one of the slightly cheaper beers, but slightly stronger, just to get more value for money. And if I don't want to have to drink 20 pints just to try and get a bit of a buzz, Well, I only had 2 anyway, but you know what I mean. So anyway, let's get on with this one, shall we? Beer Humbug. I can get the top off. I don't want it to. I'm leaning across over the top of my laptop keyboard when I'm doing this, so I want to make sure it doesn't go everywhere. Looking glass. I have to swap hands to pour it. So here we go. Once again, the perfect colour for a mild. That's sort of not quite black, but very dark brown sort of colour. Well, that tastes a lot better than it smells. That's interesting. It's called a mild. Well, yeah, okay, it's a mild. And if you've ever had humbugs, the sweet humbug candy, on the back, right on the back note, on the right on the finish of the taste, you can actually taste humbugs, but not perhaps such much of a minty sort of taste to it, like mint humbugs, but that sort of the plain ones, the ones without the mint in, which you don't see very often these days. But there you go. Yeah, that's interesting. Almost sort of a hint of licorice on the finish. That is good. Well, another excellent beer. These beers just keep rolling by, don't they? They're so good. Let me come back to the chat again here. He probably does. I've got to be careful what I actually say by reading all the comments sometimes. Being written in the comment, you can get away with it a bit, but if I actually speak it out, YouTube algorithm might not like it. Yeah, I'm completely with you, Dave. My local pub, and I'm from Hampshire. My local pub growing up, one of the first ales I ever had was a mild. I can't remember which one it was now. I can't remember. I know which pub it was in, actually. Was called the, if I can remember now, Half Moon Spread Eagle at Mitcheldever. It was the first place I ever actually had a mild. And I always enjoyed it in there. And the other thing I enjoyed about back in those days, mild was cheap. You know, if I remember rightly, it was about, I don't know, 18p a pint. Wish I could get a beer for 18p a pint these days. No, I'm not going to mix all three together. That's something I don't do. I enjoy them all for their own worth. Narrowboat Spuddy, welcome aboard. And I've been watching some of your antics, especially on Facebook, and I actually have been watching the Holt's Mild and a few of their pubs that have it. Pure Nectar. I don't know if I know Holt's Mild. Is that up north? Hi, Lee. Lee is Antfield Road layout in the loft, is Lee. I see. North Manchester, okay. Do you know what? I'm going to be heading up that way perhaps this summer. Well, I'm going to look out for Holt's Mild. This beer Humbug is absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. Now, I think it's a good time to do it. Before we go on to my added extra, I've got a little thing to show you for next 2 weeks' time. I think it's the 7th of February, next BeerStream. And I've decided we're going to have fruity beers. So coming to the party next time is going to be Damson Porter. And that is by 8 Cell Brewery. See that? 8 Cell Brewery. And these ones are going to be a bit special, I think. They come in ginormous bottles. And this is by the Titanic Brewery. And their Cherry Porter, Grand Reserve. And I happened to Google this the other day. Yeah, let's just say it's more expensive than a bottle of wine that I would buy anyway. Amaretto infused beer, it says. So that's for, and from the Titanic Brewery again, their plum porter. So if anyone wants to get beers to drink along with me for the next BeerStream, that's the 3 ones I've shown on the BeerStreams. Yes, I've been good. I haven't been very well, so I haven't been out there drinking beer at all anyway. But anyway, I never told you what it said on here about the oh gee whiz, Humbug beer. It's from the Pheasantry. I thought it said Pleasantry earlier on. No, it's not. It's Pheasantry beer. So it's Pheasantry Brewery. Beer Humbug, seasonal mild. A winter warmer. Yeah, that hits the point there. It's a bit like Old Peculiar or something like that. Or what was not so much Old Peculiar. Feakston's winter warmer, is it? Is it Feakston's that used to do the winter warmer? A winter warmer with chocolate and malty flavours and and a sweet, fruity edge. Smooth, soft, and satisfying. Malty flavours, balanced bitterness, velvety texture. Well, that's definitely that to a T, what they just said. Yeah, that is really good. Now, before we do a recap, as I said, I've added one this week. So we've got Hobsons Postman's Knock. I'm making up for lost time not drinking for over a week. Glass. I have to hold it. That's my right hand. I don't know which side looks on the TV on the picture, but run out of space. Quite a dark ale. Rich Ruby Porter, it's called. I think I've had a couple of red porters before, but a while ago. Well, it's nothing like Santa's Porter. Absolutely nothing like it whatsoever. The malts are nowhere near as robust, but you still taste the malts in it. But being a ruby ale, or dark ruby ale anyway, it slightly has a more bitter tone to it. You know, like ruby ales do. They have that little bit more of a bitter tone to it rather than the malty sweetness of the porters, the normal porters. But once again, can't fault it. Of course, I didn't tell Mark I was going to be drinking that one, so it's not on the list. So what we'll have to do is see what it says on the bottle. A beer that really delivers. Sustainably brewed in Shropshire. Oh, World War One, suffering from the effects of poison gas, novelist Simon Evans settled in Clewbury, Mortimer, home to Hobsons. He decided to become a postman. His daily 18-mile round proved the perfect way to recuperate. So the writing's very small, and I probably need stronger glasses. Recuperate and drew inspiration for his witty short stories. Hi, Dave. Postman's Knock is a rich ruby porter combining vanilla and chocolate malt. A beer with a intelligent blend of complex ingredients, a little like Hobson's reality. Style, strong, mild, it says. Ruby, chocolate, spicy, vanilla, and treacle is the taste. Bitterness is about halfway on the bitterness count, and the sweetness is about 2/3 that, but I don't think it's that sweet actually. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Read what they put on these bottles. Once again, Can't fault the beer. Probably fault the person drinking it, but you can't fault the beer. Let's go back to the very beginning. A very good place to start. Yes, you don't want to hear me singing. A bit of Adam's ale there. Right, back to Tinsel Toes. Let's do a recap. A little bit of a top up, just to give it the head back again. And I've been neglecting talking to you guys in the chat here. Titanic Brewery is just up the road from me in Stoke-on-Trent. Oh, I didn't know it was on Stoke-on-Trent. I thought Titanic Brewery was down in Cornwall. I must be getting confused. I will be going through Stoke-on-Trent in a couple of weeks' time, probably. Definitely right there, Dave. Good beer choices. Titanic is excellent beer. I've definitely got to agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the real ale store. These have come from, boxed up beautifully. Right, back to Tinsel Toes. As ruby ales go, that is an excellent ruby ale. It's funny because after I've tasted a few of the other beers now, I can actually taste a little bit more spice to that than I did earlier. Perhaps my taste buds are returning a bit. I'll tell you what, I can imagine drinking that. You've just gone into a good old English pub and the fire's going and you're cold, it's snowing outside, and you've come in and you've walked up to the bar and you've seen that on draft. You've got a pint of Tinsel Toes and you've sat down by the fire, blazing away by you. My fire's still blazing away up there. You sit down and you take a slurp. And days gone by, what you'd have done was you'd have sat your beer down by the fire, taken a hot poker out of the fire and dunked it in your beer to warm it up. I've never seen hot pokers in the fire to warm your beer up since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. My grandfather told me about used to do that, but I wasn't old enough to drink back in those days. Well, not saying I never had a beer, but we're in the UK. Laws are a little bit different over here than in the US. You can legally drink in the UK at the age of 5 with your parents' consent. And that's just an old law. And it goes back to medieval times when the water was so rancid, it was safer to drink low alcohol beer. So kids would drink low alcohol beer because it's a lot safer than drinking the water, because the beer would kill most of the bugs, or the alcohol did. Yeah, Tinsel Toes is definitely one of those you can sort of feel yourself in a pub drinking that on a cold winter's night with your friends, having a laugh and a joke, sat round the fire. back in the day when you had the old armchairs by the fire and all that, you know, that was the way it goes. You can't beat a pub with an open fire in it. Yeah, that's Tinsel toast. That is excellent. Completely different to the other three, by the way, because that's a proper ruby ale, and it's completely different to the others. Now, back to Santa's Porter. Liven it up again. It's got a great colour, hasn't it? Look at the colour on that. Absolutely great colour. Nice head. It's just one of those porters you could drink all the time. Yeah, that's a go-to porter. I know it's sold as a Christmas porter. Basically, you know, Santa's Porter. It's obviously designed to be seasonal and sold around Christmas time. But if I was served that in the middle of the summer, I would definitely enjoy it. Well, I never started off with the beers being cold in the first place. There you go. True about the hot poker and the ale. You see, I don't come out with just BS all the time. My sore throat was caused by eating too many Christmas decorations. Apparently, it's delicious, Dave. Oh, it's Burslem. Wow. I might see if. I wonder if they. Oh, do you know what? When I'm up in Stoke, I might see if it's walkable from the canal and see if you can go and actually do tours or anything, or see, or at least get a photograph of the place. See if I can moor up somewhere like. Gotta be careful. No disrespect to you guys from Stoke-on-Trent, but as a boater, you have to be quite careful where you moor. Once you hit the locks at the bottom, you have to do the locks. You have to go out through the locks. Burslem, I believe, is after you go out from Etruria up towards Westport Lake. Am I right there? I think I'm right there. I think that's where the pottery is that I walked around, which actually is from my namesake. Actually, goes back to, I can't put the name of the pottery now, but Burgess. One of the guys that started that was the name was Burgess, and my last name is Burgess. Yeah, Middleport. Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Yeah, and I was trying to think of the Middleport pottery. Yeah, because in Moor, right by Middleport pottery. I actually moored up there, and I walked up around there, and walked up trying to find a shop. That's about 3 years ago. Well, that might be worth a walk. Oh, okay, Dave. Great. You're always welcome in the chat, Dave, at all times because you're always really, really good. You bring a smile to everybody's face with your jokes. Yeah, I've moored at Westport Lake many a time. I always moor at Westport Lake. I normally I normally do a short trip because I normally do get through the locks, moor at Etruria overnight. Then I just do a short hop from Etruria to Westport Lakes, and then The following morning, I set off and do Harecastle Tunnel as the way I normally plan it. Unless it's chucking it down with rain, and I don't go anywhere unless I have to. That's why I never book the tunnel. I always just turn up and hope to get in. Yeah, but Westport Lake is funny because 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, whenever the first time I came up this way, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was absolutely brilliant for Moran. And then there was a lot of problems with kids on motorbikes running up and down there and breaking into boats and all sorts of things for a short period of time. But last year I was up there and it's all back to being good mooring again. So yeah, I would definitely moor there. But you can moor opposite the Middleport Brewery and walk up around. I'm not sure about more there overnight, but to walk up during the daytime, no problem at all. You know, Westport Lake was never a lake back in the day, was it? Westport Lake was the football ground, I believe. Soccer ground for my American friends. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting, well, Santa's Porter, definitely good. Definitely good. It's going down anyway, isn't it? Let's do half a beer there to drink. In the neck. I'm going to be wasted, aren't I? No, I don't know which one. Mix these up. Yep, that's that one. They're both almost the same colour, I'm not quite sure, but this is Beer Humbug. That is definitely a good beer. Definitely a good beer. I know I've had a drink, I tell you. I really do. I haven't had a drink in, 10 days or more? Definitely do that again. Now, I don't know if any of you watch any of my cooking videos, but I did keep saying I would do a Thai green curry. I don't know what it is about this area, but even Tesco don't sell cafe leaves, which I don't think you can make a Thai green curry without them in. So I'm still looking to get the ingredients. If I'm going to make a Thai green curry, it's going to be, well, not perhaps authentic because I can't do authentic, but it's going to at least have the proper ingredients in it, shall we say. So at the moment in time, Thai green curry is on the back burner. If I get the ingredients, I will do it once I get them. But what I have been playing around with, and something I've been doing today, and I actually picked these up at Christmas as well from my parents' house. I ordered some new solar panels. Yeah, picked them up at Christmas. Well, I did sort of throw one on the roof 3 or 4, well, no, we're on that now before I was really rough. So it was about a week or so ago. I threw one up on the roof, but didn't fit it properly. I just put it and connected it up and cable tied it actually to the handrail so it wouldn't blow away. Today, the other one, because I bought 2 new solar panels, and my solar panels are from you great people out there who are on Patreon, because I bought them out of my Patreon money. So anyone that supports the channel with Patreon or PayPal, whatever, most of the money gets spent on the boat. So I save it up and I bought 2 brand new solar panels, a new solar controller, and some other bits and pieces for fitting it all with the proper cutters, the wire strippers, the connectors, and all that. And I spent total probably about £230 for the 2 panels and everything to go with it. I had the cable. I already had plenty of cable from when I put the first ones on. So I fitted the solar panel today, and I fixed it all in. I didn't film it. It was windy out there, and I was struggling to keep the panel flat and all that, so I haven't filmed it. But when I reattach the other one, do it properly, I will try and film it so you can see what I've actually done with it. And let's hope I start getting a little bit more electric for free. Well, I know I've had to buy the solar panels, but because the price of diesel it's just crippling me every month what I spend on diesel, and half of that diesel is not moving the boats. Especially this time of the year, it's just charging the batteries. So it'd be nice to perhaps get a little bit of free energy in. Port Vale Football Club until the ground flooded due to mine subsidence. Ah, there we go, and created the lake. See, and Andrew's in the know. See, I wasn't completely wrong. You see, I know some of these little bits of history about some of these places. Because when I walked around Westport Lake about 3 years ago, I read the sign. I read the history of it. Oh, okay, I can't remember it all, but it was 3 years ago when I walked around. Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, so beer humbug. Yep, that's a good one too. Definitely a good one. So I don't know why I've got a 4th beer out. I've got to try and drink all this lot now before I collapse in bed later. Greedy, wasn't I? Greedy. I just thought it'd be, well, the reason being is I thought Postman's Knock, it's sort of sounds like a Christmas parlour game. Well, I think it was a parlour game, isn't it? Or was. I thought it sort of had to go in with the others. Rich Ruby Porter, 4.8%, half litre something. Break that up. Yeah, I don't know. I got 4 beers here, and before I started, you know, you perceive your perception of what beers you're going to like and all that sort of thing. We all do it, don't we? We're all going to think. And I did think that was going to be my number 1 beer tonight. Is it still my number 1 beer? It's excellent. But if I've got to put, as someone asked earlier, my favourite beer, well, I've got to go for one tonight out of the 4. And this is tough. This is very tough. They're all absolutely excellent, all for different reasons. But being me and the way I love traditional sort of porters, Santa's Porter is going to come in number 1 for me tonight. And if I give Santa's Porter, let's give it, 10 out of 10. All the rest are going to come in at about 9.5. That's how close it is tonight. Yeah. 4 absolutely fantastic beers. And people say there's no good beer out there anymore. Oh, beer is getting better by the year. And that I definitely know from when I lived in the US, because when I moved to the US, I was not a big fan of the beer, shall we say. Fizzy yellow stuff is not for me. But so many microbreweries started up, and the beers now in the US are fantastic too. And not the next one when we're doing these, but the BeerStream thereafter, which won't be a Wednesday that week. It'll be the 22nd of February, which is 2 weeks after the 7th-ish. The 22nd of February is my 4-year anniversary of being on the boat. And on my 4-year anniversary of being on the boat, I will be doing my last bottle of the bourbon barrel stout, my 2019. And I know, because I've seen the photographs, if he hasn't drunk it yet, Mark has some of that. He actually found some over in the US, and he's got some of that to drink with me that night. So that's going to be an interesting night. And I'm not sure what else I will drink with that night. It's 14% alcohol. I don't even know if I want anything else to drink with it that night. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, what's available on the shelves, as I say, I did actually see Tinsel toes are still available. I did run through Google on some of these earlier. Yesterday it was actually. So I did actually no, it wasn't. It was whenever I did the whenever I edited the video, which I put up yesterday, but I did that on Sunday. I did the video on Sunday, although it went up yesterday about what was going to be the beer we was going to have tonight, or the preview on it. I did that on Sunday and actually checked to see what the beers were available. Tinsel Toast was still available, and I didn't look up Hobsons Choice, and so was beer Humbug in some places. But I didn't see Santa's Porter available, I must admit. So they were available if people did want to try and get hold of them, but I know it was a bit short notice and all that, but I did actually put them in last week's cooking video as well, didn't I? I think. I forget what I do sometimes. Well, oh, that's good, Andrew, to know. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely when I'm up there. That's definitely a walk. It's only a mile away. That's just up the road, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, a walk I'm going to do as well. Probably be within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be going through Tamworth, and I'll be stopping at the can't remember the name of the retail park now. Around oh, gee whiz, doesn't matter anyway. I'm going to be stopping there to go shopping, and I happen to be watching a video on YouTube a few days ago. It's a couple of weeks ago now, and there's a pub there or a bar or whatever. It's a real ale place, so they do all the good ales, and it's just got Camera Award of the Year, and it's about a mile walk from the canal. So I'm going to go there and try it out and take the camera with me. So that'll be a little off the cut walk. Hopefully, there's not snowing or something stupid when I get there in a couple of weeks' time. Well, whenever I get there. I think it's been going an hour. Thank you very, very much for all your company. I really appreciate it. And thank you very much for the super chats. Absolutely fantastic, Andrew. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that too. I've got to get drunk now. So I've got to come offline, you see, because I've got to sit down here and finish these beers. And I don't want you seeing me slurping all over the place. Oh, that is good. What a great way to have a night. Sit down in your boat, great company in the chat, and having a few beers. Can't knock that, can you? So yeah, anyway, so I think it's sort of time to round this up. My nose is all blocked up. Oh, excuse me again here. Probably drinking's not good for me, but there you go. Who cares? And it's the 24th today, isn't it? I just saw that actually in the corner of my computer. There it says it's the 24th today. Exactly 2 months' time, I'll be 65. Yeah, 24th of March, I will be 65. Wow. Oh, bugger. Cheers, all good stream, Trev. Thank you very much there, Mark. Thanks for the BeerStream, always entertaining. Thank you, Willie. Thank you very much, you guys, for joining, and obviously a huge thank you goes out to Mark. What can I say? Fantastic beer again. The beer store doesn't disappoint, does it? They just don't disappoint. And I'm rather looking forward to the next ones. I'm trying some of these fruit porters because years ago I hated fruit in beer. I used to say fruit didn't belong in beer. You know, you had that ice cream with your fruit. But recently, some of these cherry porters and these damson porters and these plum porters, I think they're excellent. Absolutely excellent. I think the ones that put me off years ago when you got things like strawberry something or other or whatever, and they were just, but yeah. Anyway, these days there's some great ones. Thank you, Andrew. Really appreciate you being in the chat tonight. I appreciate everybody being in the chat. Without you guys, it wouldn't be worth me doing it, would it? Nobody in the chat, and the chat's been streaming over there quite nicely tonight. People, you can always chat to each other in the chat, keep things going. And Dave in the chat has been brilliant, hasn't he, with his jokes again. You can't knock it, can you, Dave, with his jokes? But I'm going to have to bring this to an end. I need to go and find the little boys' room back there before I drink any more of this beer. So thank you very much again. So that just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Trevor out. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Again. So, end stream.